reactor unstable. Emergency lockdown protocols activated. 15 minutes lockdown.
Critical pressure level. To avert catastrophic system failure, system purge required.
Here's a build I want to show you that you can run in Pentco and make it easier for your team to kill the hunters and the enemies, especially in the beginning, you know, when you fight those hunters, and especially in the end. But you can use it throughout the whole mission. Anyways, let me take you through the build. Okay, first things first, the pieces I'm running is the named mask, named the Gilligard mask called Night Watcher. The special thing about this named mask is that it gives you 100% scanner pulse haste. Alright, I have skill haste on it and a disrupt resistance mod. I changed the core attributes to a skill tier, because usually it's rolled with armor. And for my backpack, I am running a Hanayu Corporation backpack because it gives 10% skill haste. What I have rolled onto that is status effect skill haste with a disrupt resistance mod. The talent on the backpack is Creeping Death. When you apply a status effect, it also applies to all enemies within 8 meters of your target. So when you foam someone or an enemy, and any enemies within the 8 meter range, they will also get foamed. But just remember, it does have a cooldown of 15 seconds. For the rest of the pieces, I am running 4-piece Eclipse Protocol. The good thing about this brand set is that it gives you the 30% hazard protection. Okay, so we want to stack hazard protection on this build. Alright, and it gives you the talent Indirect Transmission when you have 4 pieces on. So your status effects now spread on kill to all enemies within 10 meters and refresh 50% of the duration. When you do have the chest piece, it increases to 15%, or 15 meters, sorry. For the attributes I have on this, I have hazard protection with a disrupt resistance mod on the chest piece, and all the rest on the glove I have hazard protection, on the knee pads I have hazard protection, and all the holster I have hazard protection. So for the skills I'm using for this build, the Scanner Pulse, because I am using the Night Watcher. Alright, so the good thing about using this skill when you are in Petco, it makes it much easier for your DPS players to find enemies and kill them straight away, instead of trying to find the last enemy or where the hell they are. Sometimes you're just, some players are just running around trying to kill and they can't find anything. So this makes it easier. You can even scan the area, and you can see that they're all in their spawn, so you can just catch them coming out, and it's really good. All right, that also helps with using the right foam, so that's my second skill. So when you scan someone, you can kind of see sometimes that they're all still inside the spawn, and you can get prepared to foam them all straight away, so that makes it much easier for DPS players to do damage on them. This is also very good for the beginning bit, when you're fighting hunters, because you can just foam the hunter, because with this build you are immune to their disrupt, so you can still use your skills, so your foam will still work. You can foam them in place and your DPS players will be able to kill them much easier. Okay, so with this build, alright, at the moment on my stats, I have 80% hazard protection, so that 80% goes towards everything. Okay, and I've stacked disrupt resistant mods, which actually adds up to 100% disrupt resistance. For all of you that don't know, to be immune to the hunter's disrupt, you need to be at 97.5 disrupt resistance, which is required for hunter's EMPs. Okay, so you want to roll everything with hazard protection and a disrupt resistance mod, okay, onto the build. And you can see I'm 100% disrupt resistance. Okay, so that means I get 30% hazard here, plus 10, that makes it 40, 50, 60, and 70. All right, and then you stack this disrupt resistance, so that makes it 80, 90, and 100. All right, so that's what you kind of want to do with the build. And anyways, for the rest of the build, the weapons I'm using is the Scorpio, so I don't get pushed. And I'm using the mechanical animal, which is the named assault rifle, that gives you overcharge on kill if you are at 6 skill tier. Alright, and I'm using the card 45 pistol. Talent rolled onto it is perpetuation. Headshots grant 50% status effect damage and duration to the next status effect you apply. Okay, and for my specialization, I'm using the survivalist specialization. Okay, it's really good to use the specialization because you can buff your teammates' damage to targets that are status affected, so that is 10% bonus damage that your team gets. And what are you doing? You are doing status effect. Okay. And another addition to this is you get the 10% increased protection from elites. Most of the enemies in Pentco are elites. Okay, so that's pretty much for the build, guys. So yeah, very useful build in Pentco. You don't really need to do much or shoot anything really. You're there to support your team. Scan, foam, scan, foam. Alright, anyway guys, peace.